So, hi everybody, it's Jane from Living Skies Vintage, and I'm back and I'm doing a little bit of watercolor. I'm thought I'd draw some Easter bunnies and some Easter eggs, and I got started, and then I thought, no, I should actually put this on for you guys to see what I'm up to and how I'm working with this. So, I'd started. This is a rabbit. If you haven't guessed, those are his big ears. And this, I just wet this area and just add a little bit of color to give him some texture. I'm going to do the same method for the background right now. So I'll show you how I did all of that. And I'm going to use, I want to use some more pastel-y colors. So I think I'm going to take big bunch of this really light blue on my brush, and you probably can't necessarily see what I'm doing there, but I'm adding a little bit of this light blue to my palette. And then I'm going to take my other big brush, and this one here, we're just going to put water where I want the blue to be, this blue to be, and I want to get it kind of soaking out. I got a little bit of purple in there still, but that's okay. I don't mind. Because what I want is I want the blue to kind of spread out and bloom behind the rabbit, similar to what I've done on the rabbit itself. So I'm just giving those areas a lot of water and bringing that up close to the bunny. If it overlaps, that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I've got my eggs kind of down here. I'm going to bring that water down just a little bit more. I hope I'm not knocking the camera with my head. I'm sorry if I am and making you all dizzy. I can feel it every once in a while touching my hair. There we go. So I've got the water on there that I want. And I'm just going to make sure that this paint is nice and watery. And I'm just going to kind of put it into the water that I know is there surrounding the bunny. Now it shouldn't go anywhere that the water, I didn't put water, so it should not kind of mix in with the brown too much. Just get that a little stronger there. Pull that up close. A little more over here. See how that just flows out really nice. I'm trying not to get in the way of the camera too, which makes it a little difficult. And we'll just bring that blue right in there. That might have been starting to dry a little bit, but that's okay. That's a nice hard line on there, which I don't mind. Let's just do a little bit more. There, I kind of like that. Just kind of like how that's kind of nice soft blue around him. Now I don't know if I showed you my sketch. I was in my sketchbook, and this is what I'm doing. Is this guy? I copied it out so I had it easy at hand to kind of peek at and decide where I'm going. So I can do the eggs. I think I'm going to do the eggs in kind of a pastel color too, but because they're right up close to this blue, especially those two, let's just see if I can get some water. Well, what color am I going to use? Pale lavender here. And I'm going to mix in my palette with some maroon that's already in the palette. Make it a little stronger. There we go. There's a hair on, extra hair on my brush. So let's see if maybe I can get one egg to be this lavender color. I have a cat, so it seems like there's hair everywhere some days. I'll make this one egg here, kind of an egg shape. And I made that purple, so let's see. There we go. And I want the egg to be more solid looking, so instead of the watery look. So I'll just get that. There we go, there's one. And now I need to decide what the other color will be. Maybe we'll do a, how about we do a pink one? Definitely need a pink one. And we'll put that other one right in the middle because that blue isn't quite dry yet. Still, a little water right there. Now I could actually just, if I wanted to, just paint the pink on here like a dry on dry, which I may do for those last two eggs. But I kind of like how the paint moves in the wet on wet, especially when I'm just starting the piece. I can always fine tune it later with some details, which I am going to do with this because, well, the eggs are striped and polka dotted, and yeah, we'll use some gel pens and just make this fun. I think I need a yellow and a mint green to go in here too, don't you? That's definitely what I need. So if I'm going to do a yellow though, I want it to be a pale yellow, so I'm going to put some very bright yellow in there in my palette. And I think I'm going to put the yellow one over there by the purple. And I'll take this brush. Now I haven't put any water on this egg, so this will be a little stronger because I'm doing wet on dry here. And you can see the paint's not moving. I have to move it with my brush. All right, there's the yellow. And then the green, let's take this really pale one here. I'm going to have to be careful next to the pink. Oh yeah, I like that. I do have some very light pencil marks on here too, by the way, that I'm watching what I do. They're helping me, guiding me with my guiding me with my paint placement. Sorry, I've lost deep in thought there. There. I like that. I like that. So now I'm going to try and do some details on my rabbit. So I need some smaller brushes than these. Let's wipe this off. We'll stick that in there. I have this brush and I have a very tiny, tiny brush. But I'm going to try and add in just a little bit of wet on dry with the same color that's here to kind of work it like I did with the yellow and the green eggs. But I'm going to make sure that I've got this fairly translucent because I want to start up here with this ear. Now the way I did his ear, he had a lot. It came down this way. When I came down here, here, there. So I want to make that part of the ear fairly dark. That's the inside part of his ear. Getting a little bit of the shape and shadow in here. I'll do best on his ear over there with a little bit of blue on the other side. Now I need to somehow rabbits don't have much of a nose. Like they don't have like, you know, their nose is really hairy. I'm just gonna suggest a bit of a jawline there. Jawline? I don't know if that's what you would call it on a rabbit. His little chinny chin chin. There. I think that works. Now, his eye is right here. His eyeball is actually below where I'm painting. I'm just trying to get kind of a semblance of also his nose. Very light. And then I also want to kind of get where his chin is, which is right here. So I'm going to get a little bit more. I'll put that there. Give it some. All right, that's doing well. Do that. A little more darkness right there. The other eye is actually here. And then I want to do a little bit more on his back. Just so it's not such a blob, but it looks more like fur. So I'm just going to start. some of that edge off there just by using a little water and making it a little, making it wet so I can add, not too wet, add some hair, I'll say, kind of like this. Now these ones are pretty light, but I'll take my smaller brush afterwards and make finer hairs with the same with the hair. It's just, I'm trying to create a shadow more than anything else. Just, and I have to say, this is not a tutorial, by the way. I haven't taken art lesson. Well, took art in school, like high school, but that's a long time ago. Most of this is just, you know, I watch and learn how different people achieve different things. I don't want to copy other people's drawings. I want to do mine. And I'm learning how to use the techniques that I've watched other people do and use in their artwork, and trying to adapt that to mine. There we go. That's kind of was where I was going with that. And then we'll see how it all turns out. Okay, and I want to do a little bit of this, a little bit that way, that way, that way. Just going to soften those a tiny bit. They'll still stay there. You'll still see them, but they are softened a bit. This, I'm learning with watercolors, you gotta be a little patient and layer, because these things are wet. Like that egg is still really, really wet. The pink's almost dry. That one's dry. Both the yellow and the green are dry because that was dry paper I was working on. But I'm gonna leave this for a little bit. You can see the rabbits starting to take a little bit of shape. Certainly the eggs are. And I'm going to let it dry and then we'll come back. Okay? See you in a little bit. Okay. So our bunnies dried quite a bit more. And I am going to do a little more detail on his face. See if I can get a little bit of an eye in there. And just kind of define that a little bit more. I want to soften that a little bit, actually, with just a little water on my brush. Oops, don't do that. Is this brush dirty? I didn't think it was, but it's okay. I can fix that. I can fix that. Need a little bit of that there. Anyways, okay. So that's just, there was a little bit of water, and you can see these eggs are kind of, you can see the watermarks on this, and on the yellow and on that one, it's a much more opaque when you paint the wet on dry. So I find with wet on wet, you need lots of layers. So I'm gonna see, or try to define this eye just a little more. Rabbit's eyes are very black, actually. And they kind of bulge out of their head. His other eye's over here. So I'm just gonna give that a little bit of a hint there so that it's there. I want to do some more hair work. So try that. I like that. And I'm just gonna do a little bit on this edge here of his ear. Tiny, tiny, tiny brush strokes that can kind of take a little bit of that paint a little further, and it will start to look like fuzzy hair. It will. I promise, it does. I've tried it on other things. Sometimes it's a little better than others, but it's a very small brush I have here. There we go. Let's get a better consistency now. There we go. Like that. And this is the back of this bunny's ear, right? Because the inside of his ear is on facing away from us. So he's got quite a few hairs to go on here. I don't know if you would call what I do realism. I don't know that it's I think I have more of an impressionistic look, if I was to use the right terms. I don't necessarily try to draw things exactly. I just want you to know they're there. Kind of like what I'm doing with these small hairs. Now everything dries lighter also, so they might seem a little strong right now, but they will fade a little bit yet. There, I think he's looking a little fuzzier. Now let's see what I can do with this other ear. Now this is the inside of this bunny's ear. And usually the inside of an ear has some longer hairs in it. There we go. So I wanted to give it that. And we'll give it its outside edge. There, he's looking a little more fuzzy than just flat, right? And that's kind of what I was wanting. And we'll do the same thing up along this back again. And I'm going to do some more hairs on here and here, but I think that I'm going to get that done and then come back to you after I finish doing it. But you can see the details that I'm going to make. I'm going to do more in here and here and here. And we'll be back. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, so I've added a few more strokes. I actually added a little bit of yellow in there too, just to kind of give it a little more of a highlight. But you can see it just gives the impression of fur at the moment. And now I'm going to put the eyeball in. I think after this, I actually might just doodle in the eggs with my Posca pens. They might just show up a little bit better. And yeah, so let's see if I can get this eye in. And I'm going to use, I don't necessarily like using black. Black is so unforgiving. It really is. So I'm going to start with more of a Payne's gray color here. Just to get the darkness in. And this is, I'm playing wet on dry. And this paint's been highly diluted. Now I just want to give the hint of an eye over here. Rabbits kind of have bulgy eyes. You ever notice that? There we go. That's kind of what I want there. Now, I like the shape. I'm going to let that dry. And I'm going to perhaps darken it with a little more paint, just a couple more layers. Give it a little depth. And other than that, I'm going to leave this for now. Oh, no, I know what else I want to do before you go. I wanted to put in a little bit of foreground here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this almost a straw yellow color. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. I'm going to dilute it quite a bit and use this big brush. I'm just kind of sweep it in. And this is wet on dry. There we go. Kind of gives him something to sit on now. Doesn't look like he's just floating in space. So I'm going to leave this and going to let that dry. And from here, I believe that I will start doodling, get the egg markings on, and maybe finish his face a little bit. But yeah, I like how this is turning out, and I hope you enjoyed it. I will come back and I'll post the finished picture for you. But please come back again when you can. It's Jane from Living Skies Vintage. I really enjoy having you here with me, and I hope you come back again. See you again soon. Bye now. Hi everybody, it's Jane from Living Skies Vintage. Well, just back to show you the completed picture. I added a little bit more green. I didn't like just the yellow with the background once the eggs were in there, and I highlighted the eggs with some gel, sparkly gel pen. Can you see the iridescence in there? There we go, to make them a little special. And gave him a little bit more texture on his fur with some of the watercolor. So thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed watching what I did here, and if you like this, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe. I'm really happy to meet new people, and I love doing this. I love thrifting, and I've got lots of different videos that you may enjoy. So please come join me again, and we'll see you soon. Bye now.